Another thing on the web, in the web college that I learned, it was asking questions like, is there, anything, that is in the way when I'm, like if I have an allergy, is there anything that's stopping me from removing certain allergies that I might have? And when I asked the question, one of the things that came up was that it's jealousy.
Aha!
Yeah, so I had to go in and start removing jealousy. And to my surprise, jealousy was there in my bodies.
Yeah, jealousy is an immune dysfunction.
Right.
And so there was an example of a dysfunction that you found in one of your bodies, or many, and took it out.
Yeah.
How did you feel after you removed it?
I felt pretty. I felt pretty good, but at the same time, a little bit embarrassed. To know that I had such things there, yeah, I felt quite good after.
See, that's another thing, is that you may not be ready to actually discover the things that are really embarrassing, or even worse than embarrassing. Like there are things that are a lot worse than embarrassing. And,
Yeah.
You may not be ready to discover those yet.
Okay.
I mean, it can take, you have to sort of work up to it. And after, you accept yourself more and more as you do this. Good deeds, see, I'm just discovering more, I'm learning more about myself.
Oh, right.
See, and I'm really surprised by who I am, and also I realize that the reason I've done things, that now I look at them and I say, gee, that wasn't really such a great thing to do, and it didn't work, it didn't do what I wanted it to do, and I caused a huge amount of suffering, and I harmed the world with this. But I say I just didn't know what else to do at the time. Given my dysfunctions that were running, I was just too dysfunctional to do anything better than that. Like sometimes my dysfunctions didn't interfere with me seeing a good solution for a problem. And I've done a lot of really great things that way. But other times, my dysfunctions just were so prohibitive in the situation I was in, I could not solve the problem. And it resulted in a lot of people dying. Even doing the cure drive, I have made so many mistakes because I was dysfunctional, and people have died, because of that. Because, if we don't get this information, like if you hadn't found this, you could die within the next month or two.
Yeah, that's right.
It's that simple.
Understand.
What I did, I was just functional enough to manage to get this information to you somehow, where I failed with a lot of other people. Like I failed with tens of thousands of people, where I succeeded with you. And the only reason I've succeeded with you is because I overcame massive amounts of dysfunction.
Oh, right. I see. Yeah.
Like I just committed to talking with you and actually like doing this with you and going through it step by step with you. And I just was trying to do it. I did it all these other dysfunctional ways before. And I just didn't realize the truth, which is that people need to talk to somebody. You needed to talk to somebody.
Yeah, I did.
So...
Yeah.
And I don't feel the least bit ashamed of myself. I have to say. I really don't. Because I've just... I just did what I could, and it usually wasn't good enough, but, there's nothing I can do about that. I was dysfunctional, and so you have to realize when you're sick, you're helpless, and it's nothing to blame yourself for. Like if you're too sick to do something, you shouldn't blame yourself for that.
Yeah, that is my problem. You know, like I was just telling you about the jealousy issue. You know, I was being very hard on myself. I said, well, what is it that I'm jealous of? You know, and that's why I became, you know, embarrassed and thinking, God, that's in me. You know? Like you were saying, you know, I need to, like you said, I'm probably going to start finding worse things than jealousy as I go, you know, go through this this process. So, you know, like you said, as I find them, just remove them, you know, and move forward.
Yeah, and some of them aren't removable. You know, like you can still remove them and you'll feel good, you know, when you remove them, but they're still there. Like the next day you find them again, you know, or you see yourself you see yourself behaving in the same way. But after a while, the effect is cumulative. And I feel like I have to be honest about myself with you, because that's the only way I can help you. I have to tell the truth about myself, because you're obviously learning from that.
Yeah, I am.
So that's important for me to do. And yeah, it's embarrassing, you know. It is, and I have to admit. But embarrassment is an immune dysfunction.
Okay. Yeah.
That's another dysfunction, embarrassment. Shame is an immune dysfunction.
Yeah.
People are ashamed of having herpes, and it keeps their herpes active.
Yeah, I can believe that, yeah. You know, but at the same time, it doesn't help, does it, to cure it or to get rid of it?
Well, they think they can keep their shame and still cure it, and then when they fail, they decide IMMUNICS doesn't work. And they don't realize it's them that doesn't work. It isn't IMMUNICS, it's them. See, because IMMUNICS doesn't cure you. What's curing you is you. You're curing yourself. Angela.
Yeah, I think, you know, that's so hard. No, I wouldn't say it's hard to take. Oh, how can I put it in words? You know, with the IMMUNICS, now you just said that it's not the IMMUNICS that is curing you. You know, a lot of people would think that's what the IMMUNICS is all about. You know, but here in the IMMUNICS, I find, you know, it's not popping a pill or drinking medicine. It's just spoken words. And then I realized the other day, if I'm just speaking words like, you know, finding out if there's any, I don't know, say like cancer in my bodies, and if there are, then, you know, I am now removing, you know, cancer from my bodies. Those are words that I'm just speaking out. But then I realized that means that words are very powerful, if that's the case.
Well, actually, what it actually means is that you're doing the removal. And the removal is beyond the words. You don't actually have to say the words or even think them to remove the cancer.
Okay.
But, you know, for our purposes of these, you know, communicating and for these meetings, we use words, you know, but you are curing your cancer. It is you doing that.
Okay.
And you're doing it with God. Like when you feel that eraser come in and erase that thing, you know, that you found, and you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's like an eraser comes in and erases it. Have you noticed that?
Say it again.
Have you noticed that?
Yes, I have, yes.
Well, that's God doing that.
Right. Can I?
Area code 813-672-3419. Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da.